Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, The Swift Sail HD. Last time, we got the Deluxe Picto Box, and this time, we're going to talk about a little oddity while sailing to our next destination. That little oddity being that first of all, I'm playing with the the GameCube controller. That would be a very big oddity, because you can't do that in the Wind Waker HD. I'm playing with the Wii U Pro Controller, just so I can show you that I am going first from Windfall Island to Dragon Roost Island. Why? Why am I doing that? The place I'm meant to go to is right here. Well, you actually can't just cut diagonally all the way from Windfall to this next place. Why is that? Well, this game isn't as open as it initially seems, because this whole area right here, this big fat area in the middle of the sea, is actually closed off to you for now. This is too far out in the sea for us to sail at the moment, according to the King of Red Lions, and if we try to go diagonally, we'll just be turned back and we'll have to go back to Windfall, make our way to Dragon Roost so that we can go all the way down here. A little convoluted, but really it shouldn't be a big deal. The only reason I came back to Windfall is because I knew there were things that I forgot to do, and most people probably won't end up doing that. Anyhow, anyway. This episode rather, will be a bunch of traveling. There will be a lot of it. And it's also going to be a little bit long, because I do want to get some stuff done on the next island that we go to, but again, I have a lot of traveling to do here. There's a lot of new things we're going to see out on sea, and, well, it's going to be a fun time. And before any of that, I want to go see Beetle. I may have cut my sail out a little bit too early in that equation, but we're just going to forget that happened and pretend like I was really cool, speeding next to Beetle's ship, being like, hey man, it's me, give me your wares. I want to buy probably 3 more bunches of bait. All-purpose bait, because we have a lot of fishies to see this episode. Oh. Bye. Well, I can't carry that many. Okay, we're getting 2 more bunches of all-purpose bait, which actually really only has one purpose, but moving on. So now that we're here at Dragon Roost and we are taking a turn because we don't really want to be here, here's the thing about the Wii U Pro Controller and how it interacts with this game. The Wii U Pro Controller does not entirely cut off functionality from the gamepad. So if you really want that GameCube experience where you have to go back to the map screen through the pause menu every single 5 seconds, you know, I think you're weird, but, you know, that's fine. Purest experience, whatever. But if you don't want to do that, you can actually still use some of the gamepad functionality. The map will still be open and updating on the Wii U gamepad even while you're using the Wii U Pro Controller. So for example, my setup currently is that I'm using the Pro Controller, obviously, but I also have the Wii U gamepad on its stand. I am really OCD in the fact that the home button's not in the center is going to annoy me, so I had to fix that really quickly. I'm sorry. I have it sitting up on its stand, facing me, so I can still see everything. And that doesn't necessarily just correlate to the map. I can also still change items on less of a dime, but still pretty much on a dime by clicking on the items menu on the Wii U gamepad, and then just dragging the item. So that drag and drop feature is still there and available to people who want to play with the Pro Controller. It's just now a little bit more out of the way since it's not on your controller itself. It's probably going to be a little bit farther off. Either way, it's great. And also, I just skipped over the fact that I am not going to be talking to those fish anymore. Remember that time I said I was going to give them unique, interesting voices? Yeah, probably not. A lot of the time the fish have nothing important to say, or if they do have something important to say, they kind of spoil the surprise of something that's there. Which is good and all because they want you to go there to get an item, they want you to know where you gotta go. It's great. Just like that 50 rupees I just got. Nice! But more importantly, the fish can spoil some things, the fish can say some unimportant things. I think in general it's just better to ignore the text of the fish. I will just speed through it. You can pause to see if you want to know what they want to say, or if you want to know what they want to say, rather. I worded that incredibly poorly. But it's just not for me. Remember how I said the Great Sea was boring? We have a lot to talk about this episode. Cyclones. Cyclones are actually super duper important, because cyclones are, oh, I'm gonna have to think about this one, because this disappears really early, and I think it's like right here, fingers crossed. Okay. Now I'm really far behind. Okay, give me a second. That should be good. Wonderful. You can also tell by the sound that plays, I just have my volume on the TV low, so I haven't been able to do that really. Anyway, as I was saying, cyclones. Cyclones, if you get caught up in them, oh my god, 200 rupees. Jesus Christ. I keep getting, oh my god, my mind is all over the place right now. Okay, so, cyclones. Wowza, I need to speak. Cyclones will take you to a random part of the sea. It's probably not random, if I'm gonna be honest, but they will take you to a miscellaneous part of the sea, somewhere out there that is, more often than not, very far away from where you actually want it to be. So don't run into cyclones just yet. I know some of you crazy whippersnappers are gonna be like, I want to live on the edge. I want to throw myself to the edges of the sea, and if that's your thing, go for it. But if you just want to see what's in the cyclones, man, don't do it. It's not worth it. You'll get your time to shine. I swear, your patience will be rewarded, but that patience will not be rewarded just yet. So hold back there, bucko. You just gotta calm down a little bit. It'll be fine. You'll get what you want in a minute. Alright? Cool. Oh my god. Okay, so you know how I said sometimes I sail and then I just walk away for a second? I forgot to do something very quickly before this recording session, so I went to do that really quickly, and then an Octorok that shoots bombs out on you at the sea just popped up out of nowhere. So that's, that happened. That's an Octorok, I think. I don't believe it's another variant. Well, obviously it's a variant of an Octorok, but I don't believe it's a variant with an altered name. It should just be an Octorok, because we will see other Octoroks later, but that's one of them. That's one of many. It's a water-based game. I actually would be kind of sad if they didn't do anything with Octoroks. And frankly, talking about water and water in this game, it's really not a big deal. It's like the overworld, and then everything else is somewhat unrelated to water. Again, it's the overworld, and it's almost nothing else, which I'm not necessarily too sad about. I just think for a game that is specifically focused on water, the fact that there's no real there's no real water dungeon, pretty much. Sorry to spoil it, but there's water is really downplayed, other than in the overworld, and that's really funny to me. As you know, again, it's a primarily water-based dungeon. So I'm a little blind, and I almost skipped something incredibly important. This treasure spot, baby. No, it's actually not what I skipped. It was something I did skip, but it wasn't the most important thing I just skipped. There is something over to my left, and we're gonna get that after I see what's in this treasure box. This is almost the second time I've done something like that, where it's like in plain sight, and then I just skip it. We have made 300 rupees on this trip. That is great. But no, over here, there is a submarine. One of the fish will actually tell you about this, but he kind of spoils what you get inside it, so I didn't really want to show that off. If there's a fish that says something important, then I'll probably voice over him in post and, show you all the text, but for the most part, they don't say, super, super interesting stuff. Or they spoil things, or, The fish have just proven to be a bit more of a pain than I would have initially thought, which is great. It's not great. I'm actually very sad about that. I was expecting to have a lot of fun giving them different voices, but it's just not in the cards, I guess. Anyway, talking about submarines, they are actually very special. A lot of the time, they'll give you something very unique and important for the game, and also, they give you little different challenges. For one, this is a gauntlet that's a little bit different than your usual gauntlet, because now instead of just having to fight the enemies with your basic Zelda combats, which isn't all that interesting, you also have these stupid freaking rats running around here stealing your stuff while you're in the middle of, while you're in the middle of trying to have fun and play the game, and they steal your stuff, and then you probably have to go stop and kill them, because I really don't want to lose all the money that I just made, so... What? Wait. Okay. Oh, he grabbed it. That means it's mine. That means I can get it. I can get it now. Now that it's not weirdly for some reason... Oh, there we go. Okay. Now that it's not for some reason tilted in... Wait, what is this? Why is this happening? Is this like a fake rupee? Nah, those don't exist. Why is it like this? This is very disappointing to me. Oh, this is making me go wild. I really want that. Moving on. That is really odd. I've never seen that glitch before. You'll get an empty bottle if you come in here, and it's great. An empty bottle for your efforts, I will take that any day. I've gone through significantly more tedious things than just fighting 3 freaking enemies while dealing with rats to get an empty bottle. This is lovely. I'm really happy about that. So 2 of 4 empty bottles, gotten. So another thing really quickly before we move on, every single one of these watchtowers is, well, frankly, the exact same. There's nothing special about really any of them. So I'm not going to be showing them off. I'll be showing off what rewards I get for them, but really not the towers themselves. Usually it's like 20 rupees. How did I freaking know? Yes. Do you not see what rises up from the horizon? That is where you must go, Link. The Forest Haven. It may appear as though this is but a great tree rising far above the ocean's surface, but it is a sacred place. It is inside this grotto that you will find the spirit of the earth, the great Deku Tree. You must speak with the Deku Tree and receive from him the sacred gem known as Farore's Pearl. I fear that Ganon's vile hand may have already reached this most sacred of sanctuaries. Go forth with caution, Link. Before that, let's throw some bait in my hands, because you probably saw a fish sitting over here waiting to be fed. Where are you? I just saw you, dude. Show your face. There you are. Yeah, they immediately throw you into a cutscene, so you don't have a chance immediately to feed this guy and get this map information, which is a little frustrating, but it's okay, because we have it now. You just have to know that you need to get it. Little odd, gonna be fair. Now, with that fish out of the way, I am going to briefly talk about my feelings about those fish. I've already said that they say things that are sometimes pointless for me, and a little bit spoilery for people who haven't played the game just yet, to an extent. But here's the thing, before we actually continue on. They're not bad. And if you are a first-time player of this game, I would absolutely recommend listening to them, because they will tip you off to side quests that you might not otherwise know about, and they will tip you off to things that, again, you might not otherwise know about that could be very important, like that bottle. I didn't get that submarine bottle first time through because I'm just stupid, and also I didn't pay attention to the fish. So, talking to every single fish is very much in your benefit, but for this playthrough, it's not in my benefit, which is why I'm just not doing it. That's my personal reason for not doing it, but that's definitely not a thing that's telling me. I'm not saying don't go talk to him, okay? That would be stupid head talk, alright? Go talk to him, sure, but I just don't feel a need to in this playthrough. These are Deku Baba. And they give you... Oh. They're Boko Babas. Never mind. Thinking Ocarina of Time, I guess. Their names change all the time, and it's super frustrating. But anyway, it's just another enemy drop that we can use for different things later on. What else are you gonna give me? Rupee? Nada. Alright. So the way that these guys work is that you want to attack them once or a few times. It really depends how they feel that day, I guess. And then you will actually make their neck appear, whatever, the stem that holds their big, fat, bulbous heads. I really don't know how that works, because they have big heads. Tiny stems. I don't know, it's weird to me. But you want to attack them once, or throw like a stick at them that they drop conveniently, and that will make them stick their head straight up in the air. You can cut down their stem, and that will be an immediate death. These things, I feel like I haven't explicitly talked about them. They are just orbs that drop a bunch of items. Usually, okay, there it is. I was trying to figure out where that went. For the most part, enemies will drop one item. But whenever you see those orbs, that means that they have dropped more than one item. You just have to break them open, and there you go. I don't really think I need this many of them, but I was going for it anyway. So there you just saw, I attacked one of them once, his head went up in the air. I attacked one of them 3 times, and then his head went up in the air. It's a little bit weird. It just depends on how you attack them, I guess. Octoroks. These are the ones that don't just shoot bombs at you. Thankfully, they shoot rocks at you. that you can bounce back with your shield. One of the more recent and one of the few uses we're actually going to get out of our shield. Because I am not a very careful Zelda player, which some of you might know very, 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 very well. I don't play Zelda safe, alright? I'm a real man. I play Zelda like a real man. Like, I just don't pay attention half the time. Like a real man. Great. That sounded very sexist in a way. I apologize, men. Reminds me of that Diary of a Wimpy Kid thing hat where it just says, I'm sorry, women, period. Anyway, completely unrelated. I'm getting ahead of myself. By ahead of myself, I mean completely off task. We're not getting ahead. I'm not going to continue talking about that. And that's certainly not going to show up later in Wind Waker. I just got off task. And apparently have been using poor words. Poor word usage. That's me. More importantly, this. This is really cool. I love the ambience here. And I also want to see. I didn't want water, but you can get forest water. And this actually spoils something for a little bit later. You can use it multiple times, but it loses its forest freshness after 30 minutes. After that, it becomes normal water. That's cool and all. It'll be used for a side quest later, but for now, it's not incredibly important. I actually wanted to see if I could catch one of these fireflies, which I believe you can. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Wind Waker HD is beautiful. The original Wind Waker is beautiful. It's aged so, so well. It's a perfect example of where a cartoony style is just significantly better in general than a more realistic style. Because this still looks beautiful years and years later. And these particle effects play a very significant role in that. Because it's so great. Like the dust particles falling. The fireflies in the very beginning of here. It just adds such an ambience that wouldn't be here otherwise if this was just, you know, clear air. It's great. I really love it. Coming up here, I do want to put my picto box on just in case I have the sudden urge to take any pictures. It's a tree with a face. And he has pimples. Oh! I thought one of the good things about being made out of wood is that you wouldn't have to worry about this type of thing that comes with normal skin. But no, these are choo-choo that are hanging onto the presumable Great Deku Tree face. Because, come on, it's a tree with a face. Who else could that be? Tree McTreeson. The random guy who lives down the street. The crackhead who lives down the street from the real Great Deku Tree. No. Is this my first time getting green chew jelly? Really? I guess so. Neat. Anyway. No, this is definitely the Great Deku Tree, and he's having some problems, so let's help him with that. Oh, before that, if you actually do let Choo-Choo just sit there, they will, as you just saw, drop back into the water, and then somehow magically appear back on the Great Deku Tree's head. You don't have to do this all in one cycle. It's really easy to do it in one cycle. I've been taking my dang time. But, you can take more than one. I don't really know why they go back onto his face. It doesn't really do anything of value. I must apologize. I was in error. I saw your clothing and suddenly I felt a longing from an age long gone. That longing caused the ancient tongue to pass my lips. I am the guardian spirit of this forest haven, the Deku Tree. I owe you my thanks for your aid in ridding me of those foul creatures. Tell me, was it not the King of Red Lions, the boat who speaks, who led you to this place? So it is true. Then you have come here because you have need of the pearl of the goddess. I see. I knew there was a reason the monsters had begun to congregate in the regions around my wood. Now I understand it. He has returned. Ganon has returned. In that case, we must make haste. Koroks, little children of the woods, this traveler is not your enemy. Let your hearts be at ease and show yourselves. What do you call yourself? Link. Well then, Link. These are the Koroks, the spirits of the forest. Once upon a time, long ago, the Koroks took on human forms, but when they came to live on the sea, they took these shapes. Now they fear people, but to me, they will ever be my cherished little children. As it happens, you have come just in time for a ceremony that the Koroks hold but once every year. It is about to begin. I shall grant the pearl to you once their ceremony is complete. I must apologize for the brief delay, but if the ceremony is not completed soon, an ill fate will befall us. So, let it begin. Are you ready, my children?
We are not Great Deku Tree. Something terrible has happened. It's Makar! Makar!
What is the matter, Linda? You and Makar are always late.
No, it's not that old Great Deku Tree. Makar fell into the Forbidden Woods.
What? The Forbidden Woods?
I told him to be careful, but still Makar flew above the Forbidden Woods, and as he drew close to it...
Foolish little Makar. Link, you have heard all this. The Forbidden Woods are right beside the hollowed island of our forest haven. Those woods, the whole region is a vile place that is home to evil beasts. And now it seems they have taken a child of the forest named Makar. Your presence here is no mistake, I deem. The King of Red Lions likely expects great deeds of you. It is why he brought you here. I am sorry to ask this of you, but can you go rescue young Makar for me?
But Great Deku Tree, people cannot fly through the air.
Ah, yes. Thank you, child. You are right. It is not possible to enter those woods from the sea, is it? Link, I would guess from your size that you are heavier than my Korok children. Yet, I think we may still be able to solve this dilemma. You must use the item I shall bestow upon you and fly through the sky. Forgive me, Link, but could you climb up to my crown and get the leaf from up there? So, the Koroks, they are actually a little bit interesting because they correlate this game directly to Ocarina of Time.
The Forbidden Woods were once our home. They were peaceful back then. I would guess that our home should still exist somewhere deep within the woods. If you have traveled anywhere in the forest, just look for the stump-shaped houses.
Alright, that's pretty neat. But, more importantly, these guys are actually the Kokiri from Ocarina of Time. Similarly, different races are connected to different races you might have seen previously in Zelda games, which is really freaking cool. I love that. It's not something that's thrown immediately into your face necessarily. Obviously, it's shown to you a little bit, or at least alluded to with the Great Deku Tree and what he said just there. But it's not something that's like thrown into your face. It's not some type of story that you have to play multiple games to follow. It's not Kingdom Hearts. Sorry, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts recently, and God, I hate that story, but moving on. It's very much still a game. This is very much still a game, and every Zelda game, frankly, is very much still a game that you can play on your own and enjoy. You don't have to play any other Zelda game to find enjoyment in it. But this is just such a neat little touch for those veterans who have been playing the games for a long time. It's so freaking cool.
Swordsman, over here. Please, you must fly from over there to here using your Deku Leaf.
Sure, but first, I know something that's probably on a lot of people's minds. This, right in front of us. This is something that you can go into, and it'll take you to a place that's pretty dang neat and a little bit important for those who want to 100% the game. I believe I have 100% playthrough in the tags for this Let's Play. It's not. I'm not doing everything. I'm going to try my best to do almost everything, but not everything. That right there. That was very prominently shown to us on our first trip here, or this is still our first trip. I mean, on our first little cutscene that gave us a little introduction to the Forest Haven and the outside of it. We're not going there just yet, because there is nothing we can do there. We can't even get inside and check out a new, neat area. That is just there, and it will be important later, especially if you like taking pictographs like me. But for now, keep in mind, it's not ultra important, okay? Great. If you hop off there right now, you will have to go all the way back and climb back up here, and even though I made that puzzle, or that little quote-unquote platforming challenge seem really easy, where you hop in the bulbs and they shoot you up in the air, it can be a little annoying, especially if you mess it up, because it's really not hard. But when you mess it up, it just makes you feel all that much worse. What are these things that I'm picking up? I guess we'll talk about them in a minute. Okay. Cool thing. When using the Deku Leaf, first of all, it did explain all these things to us about the Deku Leaf, but I skipped through them. If you're on the ground and use the Great Deku Leaf, then you can you can throw a gust of air out into the open, to whatever direction you're facing. This isn't super duper useful, but for certain enemies, it can prove to make them quite easy to deal with, so keep this in mind. That doesn't use any magic. Now, if we go over here, and change the wind direction, because I do want it to be perfect, not just favorable, perfect. Because I'm about to explain why. Believe it's in... That is actually kind of a really good direction. That was already in a really good direction, crap. Anyway, the reason I wanted it to be perfect, as it apparently already was... Okay. I keep getting interrupted, but that was something I need to talk about. Did you just see that? I had my Wind Waker out. I pressed the button to pull out... Oh, no, I didn't. I pressed X, didn't I? Oh, foolish me. I totally thought I just tried to pull out my freaking Deku Leaf, which should have worked, because it would have worked if I didn't try to pull out this. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Okay. Anyway, the reason that I want to have the wind in a favorable direction is because when you use your Deku Leaf properly this time, you are, as that Korok just said, at the mercy of the wind. And you use magic whenever you use the Deku Leaf. Magic is something that was just introduced to us. We didn't have to go to some great fairy to get magic. No, 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 no. Whenever we got the Deku Leaf, that's when magic was introduced. These little jars that are popping out of the grass right now are magic jars. They will refill your magic meter, as you just saw. Now, the magic meter makes it so that you can't float everywhere with the Deku Leaf, which frankly is incredibly smart. Good job, Nintendo. That was a good plan. Good plan. But, magic meter. It's going to be used for other things later on down the line. If you've played a Zelda game before, you know. You already know the magic meter, unless the only Zelda game you've played is Twilight Princess or Breath of the Wild, in which case you don't know about the magic meter, but that's okay. You're going to learn. You're going to learn if you stay with good old Papa Geeko Vision. I'm never saying that again. God, I want to throw up. That was disgusting. Anyway, let's talk to this Korok, because he actually does have something important to say.
Nice job, swordsman. It looks like you've already mastered using your Deku Leaf. You're a quick study. The first thing you should do is cut the grass around here to replenish your magic power, as I've already talked about. The entrance... Definitely not enhance. The entrance to the Forbidden Woods is on a much higher level than the entrance to our Forest Haven. In order to get up to such a high place, you'll have to catch the swirling updraft. Can you see the updraft, swordsman? The updrafts around here move swiftly. You have to time your jump just right, so that the wind will fill your Deku Leaf and carry you up into the updraft, giving you the lift you need. Once you're floating on high, oh my god, my throat. Just let the wind take you to the entrance of the woods. Cool. He just told us about this updraft cyclone-looking thing. It will push you upwards. Neat. Yeah, that's a little bit high. We don't have that height. You have to time this. I pressed the wrong button again. Which is so weird, because I don't have the Deku Leaf normally set on X. I have it set on R, always, because I find that to be, similar to the Mega Man X Dash, the easiest way to access that. Like, whenever I play SNES games, specifically Super Mario World, Mega Man X, any of the Mega Man X games,
I will always set the dash and or the spin jump to R, because that's so much less out of the way than like Y or not Y or X, like X or A. And I do the exact same thing with the Deku Leaf, because this is such a fantastic item. Can I talk about how great this item is? This item is so fun, and I love this concept. Why wasn't it called The Legend of Zelda, the Deku Leaf? It's great. I probably should have moved out of the way of him, but I was too busy ranting, and I was like moving my hands, and man, goodness, I love the Deku Leaf. And I'm also doing significantly worse at this than I usually do, which is surprising. It's really not that hard. Alright, cool kids, we're back on our way, back on track, getting to where we need to go. These P-hats, I think is what they're called, pretty sure they're called P-hats, are super annoying, and they will try to get in your way like they did just there. But if you're not a freaking idiot like me, you really shouldn't get hurt by them. I was just being the literal dumbest person in the world. And as you just saw, the only way you can take them down is with your Deku Leaf. As I previously stated, certain enemies are made a joke by the Deku Leaf. So keep in mind, use your items in combat. It's a real smart deal. Anyway, next time on Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker HD. Let's go save Makar. But again, that's for next time. Until then.